this is, again, not episode 100 because, as you can see, I'm in a completely different space. So last episode, I was in this room, but it was just empty. I had a blue chair. Well, I've started moving my office in. It's probably not going to stay like this, but for now, it's good for setup. I started moving furniture in, and now I'm thinking I need to rearrange. So before I finish moving the furniture in, like this is probably going to go in the closet over there, but laid sideways. For storage and such, and then I can put shelves above it too in the closet. And then I want to leave enough room for when we have guests, so they can have a place to hang up some clothes. But other than that, there won't be clothes in that closet. I also took off the closet doors yesterday, so yeah, lots more space in here, but I have a bed in here now too. So it's a twin bed. It's used to be one of my bunk beds when I was a kid. My parents bought me and my sister a set of bunk beds, and somehow my dad cleaned out the garage and says, "Here, take these." So our daughter has one because she needed a twin for her new house because her room was not as big, so she didn't have room for the full size. So my son was happy because he got the full size and the twin came into here. However, it's dated. It's like late 80s, early 90s, and like big chunky wood, and I want to get a new frame, but it's probably going to be a while before we can do that because, you know, all the things going on. But anyways, also this green color is going to go away. I want like a blush, like almost white blush on the wall. That's the plan. And then we're also going to do some trim around. And anyways, you'll see the progress as we go. And I am just blathering. So this is CherryPieCottage, in case you didn't know, with all the cherry stuff. Haha. But my mascot has made a reappearance. This is Cherry. That way. I'm recording on my phone, so this is probably going to be another short episode. But I still wanted to come on because it's been 2 weeks, about 2 weeks since the last time I uploaded. Eventually we are going to be able to get our 100th episode done, hopefully. So, but there's just a lot of things going on. I'm moving into the new office, got to get it set up, got to get stuff done for the next update. And then I've got to start looking at doing stuff for the fall, so I can get my fall kits and stuff in the shop. Then it's Christmas kits after that I've got to work on, so I can get those in the shop. But yeah, busy time of the year. Plus Michael starts back school next year. He's starts school next week. So he'll be a freshman in high school. We're starting a month earlier than normal because he's taking 2 weeks to go down to Jared's aunt's farm. They're gonna hunt for a while, and then Michael's gonna stay and help work on the farm because he's not sure what he really wants to do. So Auntie's aunt said, "Why, why don't you just come and stay and see how you like the farm?" So that's the plan. Yeah. It's just, after our summer vacation, things go boom, 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 boom. They do. My straw. I am drinking cold brew. I make my own cold brew. I don't go and buy it. I need to do a video on that again. I did it, I don't know, a year or 2 years ago, something like that. But I need to do another video on it so that way people don't have to scroll back and can actually find it. And I'll do like a separate video on it. And anyways, so I'm thinking that after our 100th episode, we're gonna go more towards like how-tos and vlogs, and still lots and lots of knitting will be shown, but we want to start doing some more stuff on our YouTube channel. So, and it will probably be a lot of just me because Jared doesn't knit anymore. That's the other reason why we're switching over from just a knit podcast. Still lots of knitting to be shown, but also you're gonna get to see some of my day-to-day stuff and the process of how I do things and just take y'all along with us. So I hope you'll like that. If not, we'll reassess and figure it out. But I am blabbering because I'm the only one here. And yeah, so let's get started. I have no faux. However, I did block some stuff because I had this giant room to do it, and it did take like the entire span of the room to block just these two shawls because they're long. So this one, I don't remember the name of it. Oh my goodness. But I reblocked it, and the eyelets have opened up a lot more. So here's one end. I still need to go back and weave in those ends. I'm pretty sure I did. Not. I did not. Thought I did. I need to come weave these ends in, and it will be ready to wear in when it gets cold enough. So, and then there's the other end. It's really, really long, but that's what I wanted. So I do better with giant wraps because then I can actually wrap them around and wear them, because most of the time the shawls are not to keep my neck warm. They're to keep like my shoulders warm or whatever. But also I wear a lot of shawls to church, and it's easier to keep the longer ones on. So because I can also wear this like a regular shawl. And I'm not gonna keep this on very long because Texas and drought and heat, and this is the first week in probably 2 or 3 weeks we've had below 100, and we're not supposed, fingers crossed, pray to God, we don't have any more 100-degree weather that lasts for 3 weeks. So that is the plan. Right now there you go. So right now it is under 100, still high 90s, but you can feel the difference. If you've lived here long enough, you can feel the difference when it comes below 100. Last week was great because we spent the entire week in the water. So the first half of the week we were at my family reunion at Lake LBJ, where Jared decided he needed to try it and feed the squirrels and give them water. They didn't take it, so I knew they wouldn't, but if you saw my reel, or no, Instagram story, but we were at the lake. I don't get in the lake. I have a fear. I will get in the boat in the lake. However, I do not like to swim in the lake because, for one, I don't like the feeling of the bottom of the lake. It's ooshy, and even if I wear shoes, I can still feel it squishy because of the mud. I don't do the ocean for the same reason. There's just other creatures in there, and no thank you. However, river water is fine because that's at Slitterbond. That's where we spent the last half of the week, was in San Antonio. And Thursday we went to Slitterbond, which, if you don't know, is a water park here in Texas. The one in New Braunfels and Galveston. Galveston? Yeah, Galveston. Hold on. 90 miles a minute, I tell you. Y'all think Southerners talk slow? No, we don't. We talk 90 miles a minute because that's why we shorten our words. Anyways, I am all over the place, guys. So, in Galveston, and the one in New Braunfels and Galveston was bought out by a company in Ohio. They switched my favorite ride over to chlorinated water or pool water. I'm not sure if it's chlorinated. I think it's chlorinated because you can smell it, but because it dumps into the pool, and they switched the pool over from river water to that because it's easier to keep it clean. However, the entire side of Slitterbond was river fed. So it was river water. They filtered out, fish and stuff like that, so that didn't come in. But it also was less water use because they were just pulling it from the river and putting it back in the river at the end, filtering out all the junk. But yeah, they switched it over because it's easier to keep it clean. However, I don't like it. I liked the cold water because when it's over 100 degrees and you get in that river water, oh my goodness, it feels so good. But they didn't have that on Hillside or in the pool anymore. So yeah, the water was still kind of cold, but when it's over 100, pool water doesn't stay cold very long. Right, anyways, that's what we did last week. It was great. So last week wasn't too bad. Then this week it's below 100 and it's fantastic. Oh, I hope it stays this way for a while. But you never know living here. Also, I blocked my campsite and all the eyelets opened and it got huge. So, yes, they're both red because yes, I intended to have Christmas shawls. That one is fingering weight for, you know, because sometimes we have Christmases where the air conditioner's on. This one is fingering held double because sometimes we have Christmases where it's kind of cold. Not always. It's usually on the verge of needing to turn on the air conditioner. We get our cold weather more in January and February. But, so, there's that. I blocked those. Just wanted to show y'all that. Then, whips. I haven't really knit on a lot. Like last week on vacation, I took my sweater, didn't knit on it at all. Even on the like 6.5 hour drive. Didn't knit on it. We just talked the whole time. It was great. We had both of our children with us. They don't talk much. They sleep or listen to music. So, one is I call her a pre-adult because she's 19. She's still learning how to adult. But now that she's out on her own, I guess she's a young adult now. She'll be 20 soon. Our other one is a 14-year-old who will be 15 soon, who thinks he's going on 20. But anyways, so instead of showing you whips and stuff, because I haven't worked on them much, didn't even really work on my socks, I decided to do a sweater edition. Yep. But just to show y'all all of my sweaters that are on the needles. The oldest one is one that I've actually been working on. This is the one that I took, and this is in my Wizard of Oz bag by Knit for Brains. She has an Etsy shop, and she also has a YouTube page. Go check her out. So she also makes the wireframe bags that are fantastic. But y'all should go check her out. Hi, Laura, because I know she'll watch. This one has been on the needles since 2020, I believe. I am finally on the ribbing for the body. However, I still feel like this is a little short, but since I changed the style of jeans that I wear, I think it'll be okay. But I do have in a lifeline for once I get the ribbing done and try it on and it's still too short, I can come back and knit some more without having to, like, it just makes it easier. So there's this one. And you probably want to know the name of it, right? It's by Drea Renee Knits. Oh, it's pink velvet. That's what it is. So my printer. So that's what it looks like. It's pink velvet by Drea Renee Knits. But the yarn is Twisted Owl. She does not dye anymore, hasn't dyed in a few years, and it was eye searing pink. Absolutely love this color. The blue, see, it's very variegated. It was my Lollipop Guild colorway. It was red, blue, and green in like chunks. I over dyed it a dark blue, so, which I think came out fantastic. I have about 2 3/4 skeins left to do the sleeves. Well, I have about 2.5, maybe. I have this much to finish the body with. I did do helical knitting up until the ribbing because some of the skeins were brighter before I over dyed them. But yeah, I absolutely love the way this is coming out. I really hope that it comes out long enough. I think it will. Once I block it, it'll be fine. But yeah, so I wear mostly jeggings now, so I think the shorter will be okay now. But we will see. If not, I can always just rip it out and knit the body longer. Don't want to do that, but I can. So there's that one. That's sweater 1, and that's the oldest sweater. The next oldest sweater, let me think. What is this one? Oh, that's not a sweater. Woohoo! So I only have 4 sweaters on the needles. What is this one? Okay, so the next oldest one I cast on back in January, I believe. I have the body done. I just have to do the sleeves. However, it is Aran weight, so slash worsted. It's a lighter Aran. Didn't have a desire to knit on it after it got hot. This is my Hamilton by Josie Paquin, and I just have the sleeves to do. Body's completely done. Completely done. And this is in my Dusty Plum colorway on the Aran Tweed base that I don't dye anymore. However, I do want to try and get this color in the shop. Don't know when that's going to happen. Probably closer to fall time, because to me this just says a fall colorway. But really excited. It's oversized. So, yay, excited. Have to do the sleeves, but that probably won't happen until it gets down to the 80s at least on a daily basis. And this is in a berry bag that I made before I even started my shop. So, started my shop in 2017. I'd say 15, maybe 14. Anyways, it's old, just learned how to knit, just learned how to sew bags. So I was experimenting, and yeah. But yeah. Then the next one is in my wireframe bag from Knit for Brains. Which I don't know if this one has a tag on it. It does not, but it is Knit for Brains. This is my second So Faded sweater. I am on the 3rd color. Bam. Just not really far into the 3rd color. Yeah, because I started it here. So I've got about that much done of the 3rd color. Then it's time to move on to the 4th color and sleeves. So there's that. You probably want to know the colors. Hedgehog? Yes, no. No, this was some yarn I bought at Knit City in 2019. Last time I showed this, I lost the tags. Cannot remember for the life of me what it was called. Same thing as the 2nd color, which is this one. So, then, the color I'm currently on is Hedgehog Fibers, and it's Taffy. Then, the 4th color will be another Hedgehog Fibers, which is Monarch. I will be right back because my phone doesn't like to upload if it's more than like 20 minutes, so I'll be right back. We're almost at 20. Okay, back. So, there's that sweater. I'm quite proud of myself. I only have 4. However, I do have yarn caked up for 2 more. So that might get cast on. But I'm kind of in a finishing mood, so I'm trying to at least get the bodies done on some sweaters. But then I'd be left with all sleeves. That wouldn't be good. And then my newest sweater. Don't know if I've even shown this one. I might have. But this is my Simple Hug Cardi by Cozy Up Knits. And this is like my 3rd one I've knitted. Or as Jared would say, Nat. Not a word. And this is in my another Knit for Brains bag. My giant tote bag that's got like the 6 pockets on the inside. But let me see. Hold on. Trying to do it so I can show you without it coming off the needles. So I believe, yes, this is all yarn that I've dyed. All either on my DK 100 or on my DK tweed base. Sorry. Bear with. Okay, so this is how far I've gotten. The gray is concrete? No, that doesn't sound right. Why can I not remember? Well, it's not charcoal. I mean, it's charcoal gray, but that's not the color I named it. It's one of my grays. Pink and gray are like what I tend to gravitate towards, so hence the reason there's a lot. This one is Lullaby League. Then another color is just a pink that I dyed for myself. No, this is Peony. So that's Peony. And then just to mix it up a bit, I have Houbian. So, however, I'm going to do big chunks of the pink and then do smaller stripes of the blue in between the pinks. Same amount of yarn that will be used, just smaller stripes of the blue between the pink, because the pinks, I don't know if the camera's going to show it right, but yeah, they're really close. So I wanted to be able to distinguish it. So that, my dears, I don't know why I said that. It's just, that's what came out. Anyways, that is the sweaters. Ooh, and I've got rosy hair all over my bag. Go figure. But there was also a shop update yesterday, and it was tote bags. I just wanted to quickly show y'all because they're huge. So this one, Underestimate Me. That'll be fun. There's your bottom. There is 2 straps, and front and back, exactly the same. Plus, bam, I have, haha, because the first batch I didn't have tags, but I have tags now. So, also the inside of this one, sock monkeys, because why not? So there's that one. And all of my totes are one of a kind, just FYI. So if you see one you like, grab it before somebody else does, because you won't see one like that again. I might have the vinyl on a bag, but everything, the color of the vinyl could change, the fabric will change. It's just, all of them will be unique and one of a kind. So then I have Be Happy Farm Truck. So, and the inside of that one is bees with my tag. So, see, it's so big I can't even show y'all the inside. They're like, yeah, see, huge. Up to my shoulders. Yeah. Huge. No, I was just, I sounded like our last president. Huge. It's gotta be huge. Sorry. That was a very, very bad impression. But the next one is, I have it all together. I just forgot where I put it. So I made myself a shirt a long time ago with this exact same thing on it. And again, front and back. All of these will have the same things front and back. Tag, really pretty inside. You see the gold stars? Super pretty. With flowers on the bottom, But if you look closely, well, is there? Oh, this one doesn't have, oh, yeah, there is. Pegasuses are down here. So, but there's also flamingos and swans. Where's the swan? There's the swan. It's a pink swan. But there you go. Just something whimsical and fun. Then last but not least, no, because, you know, have to do a gnome. But this one's holding a flamingo. So, of course, the inside is the one with the flamingos. And the bottom is what's on the inside of the previous bag. So, there you go. I had one that was Count Your Blessings, Not Your Problems. That one sold already. I do plan to do more of those. However, like I said, the fabric will change. Might be the same vinyl. I mean, might be the same graphic, vinyl graphic, but the colors could change, the fabric will change. So they will not ever be exactly the same. They will all be unique and one of a kind. So yeah, don't really have anything else to say. I ordered a printer stand to put my heat press on, so it's on wheels so I can store it away in the closet when we have guests or when I'm not using it. But really, that's about it. That's about all I got to say. Pretty good considering last time it was less than 20 minutes. This one, it's 27. I don't think I'm going to edit anything out. So, God is good. Read your Bibles. Bye, y'all.